Yo, what's up, boys and ghouls? It's Peter Parker Comics and his crooked phone. There, stay. Okay. Yo, new comic book day. Got all this stuff. Actually, it'll probably be Thursday before anybody sees this. So, the day after new comic book day. Yeah. I spent about $100 again. Just. So got this bad boy. Pretty stoked for this. I think the lighting's better on this side for sure. Oh yeah. Yeah, question. The Deaths of Vic Sage, new Black Label book. It's good, an oversized magazine, if you will. Sienkiewicz cover. Sinky. Also Dennis Cowan, who I'm pumped to check out some of his stuff. Jeff Lemire, he's always good. I prefer I like when he's just writing and not doing the art. Sometimes his stick people style, Royal Cities, it works sometimes, but when it's on like, I don't know, sometimes it's just too much, or not enough, really. I mean, Chris Sotomayor? That's a name. So yeah, pumped to check that out. The Black Label stuff's all been pretty good so far. I don't know. Damned is alright. I don't even think I read the last one. Harley. It's just been like Batman and Joker so far for everything. The Superman ones are. It's actually, that was some of the better JR work. Some of the best work he's had in decades. But I still don't care for him. And got awful Frank Miller covers. But. Or no, well, he wrote it, right? And then he did like the variant cover or whatever, and the rest of it's all John Romita Jr. I think Kubert might have done it, if I'm thinking of the right guy. Did one of the... Maybe he helped with the art. I don't know. I only read the first one. I just didn't care for it. I bought the second one because it has an in-the-mouth cover where Superman's holding up a mouth, inside of a mouth or something. I'm a big fan of those books. I always collect those. I think I got one in here. Or no, I was in, I think, the video from... Well, whatever. 2 videos ago, I got a new one. I think I was watching it today. Or... I don't know. This is like my third take at trying to film this. But I also got Mr. Freeze, so another Black Label book. Oh shit, I didn't realize. They're just putting them out right and left. This is from the White Knight Presents. No. I'm high. I'm way too high for this. Batman White Knight Presents. Von Freeze. Richter Von Freeze. So it's the Curse of the White Knight. That's what I was trying to say. That's the name of the... Is that the first run? What's the new one called? Is that one Curse of the White Knight? Whatever. The first White Knight run, like the eight issues or so. I mainly got this. I mean, it's a cool cover. I like it way better than the other one. There was at least 2 covers. This one's way better. But Jansen's back in action. I like to watch his. Oh my god. I like his artwork. Usually he just inks, so it's cool if he does all the work. That would be good. Fuck. But there's the new sequel or reboot or whatever of continuation of White Knight is out. I think it's either just finished or it's wrapping up. I think they're on like book 5 or 6. I've been buying them all. I have at least the first 4. I just haven't been reading them, but because there's like 3 covers for each that have been really confusing me. There was like a Commissioner Gordon one that said Gordon. One of the first ones was an Azrael one. So I thought they were like one-shots for everybody. So I was like, oh, I got one of them. And I was like, well, I don't want to keep... I don't know, like, what's this other White Knight? This is the same art as this. I'm so confused. And then I ended up figuring it out. And I think I've got at least one of each. But, I think, like, Harley Quinn's pregnant or something. It's, like, old... I think they're older versions of themselves. Maybe. Or it's, like, alternate universe. I don't know. It's definitely some form of Elseworld or whatever. Oh, shoot! Alright, so Batman happened. I don't know if any of you have been reading Batman. I'm sure most of you have been, because Batman's like the biggest or second biggest selling comic out there. But for the fucking last 7 issues, 6 or 7 issues, since what, 77? They've been doing this Batman, Catwoman, honeymoon, fantasy island, malarkey, good word for it. And not continuing the cliffhanger that 77 leaves off of, where It's not really a spoiler because it's pretty old news now. Alfred seemingly dies. Gets his neck twisted, fucking neck broke by Bane. And you think he's dead, but then you're kind of wondering, well, is that like Clayface? Is that not really Alfred? Is this a dream? Is this a different universe? Is this like whatever? Is he a robot? I don't say robot, I say robot. So we've been kind of wondering what's going to happen. It's just every issue, King's been doing this fucking Batman Catwoman honeymoon crap. They're on a cruise or something for 2 issues, and then they're doing this buddy cop Gotham 48-hour crap. Like, I don't even know, man. Not cool. And then the last issue was like all John Romita Jr. cover and art, and that was just still didn't touch on Alfred at all. So I just don't get how it takes you 7 issues to... I thought maybe 1 or 2 of them was like, oh, they didn't have the story ready in time, they didn't meet his deadline, so they just pulled the little Batman Catwoman wedding epilogue or whatever and threw that in there. Like, no, they were just like not gonna touch it for a while. I had at this point lost hope that they weren't even gonna address it, just gonna ignore it. Like, nope, we didn't kill Alfred. He'll be back. So it would be nice to see. Oh, so in this one they finally. It's not really a spoiler because you do see him die. This one just basically confirms it. You don't really get a Batman Bane showdown, or at least maybe I skipped past it. I just skimmed through it. This has been the book where, since a few months ago when it came out, every 2 weeks when it drops, it's the first book I grab off the rack, and I want to know, did it happen? Is it real? Is it permanent? And nothing's ever permanent. Nobody dies and nobody stays dead in comics, but, was it really Alfred? So it's cool to see it. I guess it actually was. He is dead. They still haven't finished the story. They're still going on it. They didn't have their... I'm sure it'll go till at least 84 or 85. I don't know how long this Year of the Villain thing's going. I'm sure at least a few more weeks. So I gotta rank this as probably one of the worst Batman arcs ever. Just for the fact that leaving it up in the air for so long... I don't like Tom King anymore. Aside from his Mr. Miracle and his run on Vision, or his Vision solo series, like the Vision family, like Meet the Visions, with the kid Viz and whatever. That was good. And Mr. Miracle was great, but he needs to go back to his spy novels or whatever he was doing. I just not a fan. Sorry, buddy. I was getting burned out on Snyder, but he's way better than... In comparison to King, I'd take Snyder back any day. But then you just get someone new in there. Get a fresh take on it. And I would like, honestly, I'm sure if Alfred even stays dead... I hope I've been saying Alfred this whole time. If Alfred even stays dead, it'll probably only be a couple weeks or months tops. But I'm sure as soon as they reboot it and give you a new #1, he'll be back. If they don't find a way to bring it back before that. Because, I mean, Thomas Wayne's even in this. I'm sure there's going to be some form of, like, this is... Oh, we're in a different multiverse. This is Earth 7. Not really. Or what? Whatever. Earth 1, Earth 2. We're 1. What? They're Earth 1? Regular Earth? Yeah, Earth 2 is the, like, Justice Society. Golden Age and shit. Okay, anyway. Absolute Carnage wrapped up. Oh, yeah, so what I was saying. If they do... Whenever they do reboot it, why don't you just reboot it without Alfred? Don't give him a butler. Just... I get that he's kind of essential to the Batman mythos archetype, but like, how many new Batman reboots have they had? At least over 10. Why don't you... And he's had Alfred in every single one. Why not do it without him? You don't need him. Put someone new in there, give him a different mentor maybe. Maybe just... Commissioner Gordon is his kind of fatherly figure. I don't know, just give us a new... Let it stick a while, I don't know. Whatever. So, this book really won't be like a key, but I think it's gonna bring the value of 77 back up to, well, whatever. Because this kind of just confirms that, oh, yep, it happened. And really fucking sick bee cover there. Pretty sure that's Matina. I need to get the light, like, over here. Rearrange the angles. Okay. Absolute Carnage ended. It's been really good so far. This is the first issue, I didn't just grab it and skip to the end right away to kind of cheat myself and spoil it, because I've been wanting to see, like, oh, what happens? Are we going to get Dylan symbiote. Who's gonna die? What's gonna happen? So I'm pumped to check that out right after this. That's gonna be the first thing I jump into. Another book I got that, man, again, this is like my third try at doing it, because I do all my videos live, essentially. I do it one take. If I screw it up or if it's so bad, I'll just cut it, redo it, start all over. Sometimes I can't remember, like, did I say this earlier in this one, or was this 10 minutes ago when I tried it last time? So I'm forgetting, like, what I was talking about. I'm really forgetting what I'm talking about now. But I got this. It's not a book. It's a book I don't normally buy now. And it's odd because it's Spider-Man. I buy everything Spider-Man. But around, like, 20 or so, and they're doing that Kraven... Is it Kraven's Last Hunt? Something... Whatever that Kraven story was. I just could not take another single cover of Humberto Ramos. I just couldn't do his art anymore. It's so god-awful. Now they got this Gleason guy. I don't know his first name, but it's a small step up. It's not much better. But, I don't know. And Nick Spencer's writing's okay. It hasn't been enough to, like, pull me in without the art, so it's... Like, usually good art... I'll buy a comic just for good art, Like, I don't care about the writing. Sometimes I won't even read it. I'll just have a good cover, good art inside. I like good art. But bad art, even if I love the character or whatever, it takes good writing to keep me there, and this isn't good enough writing on its own. So it takes usually one of those gimmick covers. I think the only Spider-Man books I've bought since 2021 has been, like the, whatever, Spider-Villain variant month, and Spider-Suit variant month, or whatever cool, like, gimmick crap they did. I think they did that Immortal wraparound one with Peter Parker. I got that one. But I mainly got this because it's a Dr. Doom book. And I did get another 2099 book, and I love Spider-Man 2099. He's my favorite character of all time. I like him way more than Spider-Man. That's weird, I know, but he's my favorite. He's what got me into comics. Back into comics, whatever. I liked him as a kid, but then when I read that, when I got into his series, it was just what... It pulled me into the whole universe. I felt like that's where I belonged, and I started pulling it all in. That's what the first series I really related to and felt an attraction to. And I learned that comics were more than just, like, comics, funny pages for kids, crap like that. Stupid little animation, It was more to me. It brought it to life, and I felt submerged. That's the word I'm trying to come up with. First time I was ever submerged into, like, their world and felt the come alive was with Spider-Man 2099. So it's more of a nostalgic thing for me. So I mean, I'm just not on this new 2099 hype train. They're bringing it back. It's the 80th anniversary of Marvel, right? And then 80 years from now is 2099. So I also got, yeah, there it is. Two of them even. 2099 number one. Had to get. I mean, I didn't want to get it because, as I'm saying, I'm not buying it. Right now, the new gimmick variant. Oh my god. New gimmicky flavor of the month variant theme is 2099. So every other title is getting the 2099 variant, and I'm being laid. Put my foot down. I'm not gonna buy any of them just because I like the 2099 universe. I don't need all these. It's stupid. I'm really trying to be strict about these stupid monthly variant themes. But I love this cover. God, honestly, if that Alpha wasn't there, it would be perfect. I would have got it framed. I would love, like, a virgin version. I mean, the color matches perfectly. I'm sick of this Alpha thing. They're all doing it now. Like 3 or 4 books I got have Alpha. So the other guy have an Omega. Why don't you just make it a 1 and a 2? I don't know. But I'm pumped about that. Had to get 2. And in my last video, I was just talking about the, like, Peter Parker Spider-Man half-face covers. I think I showed a few of them off. Those are some of my favorite versions of Peter Parker covers. This would look good with those, except it's not Peter Parker, so I can't group it with those. It's Miguel. It's old Miggy. And to me, I'm pretty strict about that. So, like, even if it's a sensational Spider-Man comic, and it's Spider-Man without his mask on, I don't care. I don't really want it. It's Ben Reilly. It's not Peter Parker. It's gotta be Peter Parker. Because I honestly, like, Peter Parker way more than I like Spider-Man. I put those two together and I count like, yeah, Spider-Man's my third or fourth favorite character, but really Peter Parker is my third favorite, and Spider-Man would be like 8, 9, you know, not a little ways down there. So that was growing up reading, especially the early Amazing ones with the Ditko era. They did a great job, you know, because people relate to Peter Parker, not Spider-Man. People usually relate to the character in the costume, under the suit, under the armor, whatever. So, in the way like Ditko and Stan Lee wrote Peter Parker stuff was so relatable, it was just that's what pulled readers in. So I've always took that. I would find myself getting way more excited for like the Peter Parker storylines, not the Spider-Man ones. Like when Spider-Man's swinging around, fighting crime, I'm like, alright, I can't wait to get to the next page or two when you get Peter Parker. I can't wait to see what happens next with Gwen. I can't wait to see how he gets out of this fix at school, or how's he gonna explain this to Aunt May. Like, those were the parts that how's he gonna get his rent paid this month, you know, like, blah, 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 blah. Those were the parts of reading Spider-Man that I liked the most, and I got the most enjoyment out of. When he was Spider-Man fighting crime, I was like, man, it's okay, whatever, you know. I like the wisecracks and stuff, but another Alpha book. I wasn't going to get this. After looking at it, I'm glad I did, because Blastar's in there. Blastar's the shit. Everybody needs more of the living bomb burst. Blastar's probably my number 2, 3 villain of all comics. I love Blastar. He's so cool. He's like my number 1 bucket list of who I want to see on the big screen. I think Annihilus would be cool, but I want to see Blastar in the MCU put on the big screen. I think he could be done right, he could be done well. So I'm going to check this out. Got the Ron Lim variant. That was kind of why I got it. The other cover wasn't doing it for me. But I try to get it like almost as many Ron Lim variants as possible. I like his stuff a lot. He's another like nostalgic one. Takes you back to the 90s. What are we talking about? I don't know. 2099 stuff. Okay, well, I forget what I was talking about. So, also got this, the Codex variant. Absolute Carnage Captain Marvel #1. It's not the regular series, but it's, you know, I got that here, actually. I'm forgetting what I got. I got these books 12 hours ago, so it's been a spell. This is the Captain Marvel. Excuse me. What were we talking about? What was I talking about? You weren't talking. You've been quiet. You've been giving me a silent treatment all video. Thanks a lot, guys. It hurts. Peter Parker. Yeah, so I've always related to that. Spider-Man's just kind of been secondary to it. Like, meh. I really like him. That's kind of where I drew my name from. I take my Instagram handle, which is now my YouTube thing as well. But Spider-Man 2099 on the other side of things, I just like that comic series. I like him in whole, as in general. So I mean, yeah, I guess I like Peter Parker more than Miguel O'Hara, but as a whole, I like Spider-Man 2099. I love the 2099 stuff. It's ridiculous. So that's the variant thing of this month. And next month is the 2020 variant month, for like Iron Man 2020 thing. Like, you gotta be kidding me. We're jumping 70 years backwards now. Stupid. 80 years ahead, 70 years back. So, gorgeous Mark Brooks. Gorgeous Mark Brooks cover. I get his covers anytime I see him, even if it's a stupid title like Captain Marvel, Ms. Marvel, or God, it could be Squirrel Girl. I would still get it. And then I don't know, so is that Star? Oh, I haven't really been reading it, but I've been getting these multiples. What's that? Hair on my phone. I think this is it. Yeah, so is that Star or is that Carol? That Dark Danvers? Whatever she's up to. She's got so many different code names and villain names, Warbird and all that. So yeah, I don't know exactly what's going on with this. I'm pretty sure that one of them is going to end up being a Skrull. I'm thinking that's Star. But then is that the bad guy? Star's supposed to be good. Carol's supposed to be going bad, right? So I don't know if Carol's gonna end up like killing people or going evil and destroying galaxies out there and shit. But I'm sure she'll be coming back soon. Because I know they want to give Star her own series, so she'll probably pan out to be good, or they want us to think she's good. Ends up being like a Skrull or a different Kree shapeshifter, or Carol from a different universe. I don't know. But I'm sure. Hell. I'm sure Carol will come back. She'll probably redeem herself. Come back guns a-blazing, explaining herself. I don't know, what's going on. But that'll probably happen. So she'll probably come back, take back her mantle, get Star beat down, or there'll be like the new team up book or something. But I'm sure she'll come back and we'll find out that like things weren't as they seemed. And that'll probably be like right before they drop a Captain Marvel 2 movie info or trailer or something, just to market it right. But, I don't know. I don't care. King Thor came out. I'm amped for this. I bought the first two. I don't love Esau Ribich's. If that's how you say it. He's an amazing artist. He's so good. I just don't want it in comics. It's not the comics I want to read. And before this, it was that stupid Dillhole. What's his tits? Thor hasn't had good art. Thor's had the best writer for like 4 or 5 years now, if not longer. Probably longer. Probably since like 2012. Whenever Jason Aaron jumped on. God, who was doing that? It was Del Mundo. Good artist, better than I can do. But it's not for everyone. He does that watercolor shit. And then Ribbich here does this like, I don't know if you want to call it oil painting, but yeah, well probably. Some form of paint. And it's just like, so good, just too good for comics. It's not what I want in my superhero comics. At least it's Thor. It's a little more fitting. It's good for Conan. He does Conan covers too. But what's his name before that? Horrible. Del Mundo. Mike Del Mundo. Just can't get into his work. It's not for me. Sorry. So I have not really been. Thor's like my fourth favorite hero. Thor is one of my absolute favorites. I just have not been able to get into his comics since like Volume 2 and early Volume 2 and Dan Jurgens was writing it and stuff. That art was good. That was John Romita Jr. Jesus Christ. It fit for that. His blocky 90s style is nostalgic in that way. Like that's John Romita Jr. and that's like, man. I love his early Amazing Spider-Man when he first came on. His early Iron Man, excellent. Some of his Daredevil, I think he got into his style and started getting kind of lazy with Daredevil and just taking on too much work. Even Batman, I think, too. That whole, I just was talking about this with someone. Shit. The Mephisto era. I think he was doing Typhoid Mary and whatever, and that Mephisto Blackheart era came on of Daredevil in like the late 80s. And that shit's like trippy. It's almost psychedelic. He was like overdoing it. And I think that's when he kind of established that heavy inking style. And after that, it was just, he used that too much. That became like his go-to. You know, it like evolved his style in a way I don't like. And then he was doing literally every title in the 90s, so maybe he was just overworked. That whole Heroes Reborn. He had like Liefeld and Lee coming back. But then it was like Romita Jr. No, I'm thinking more late 90s, so probably right after that. All the Volume 2s, like Amazing Spider-Man Volume 2, Thor Volume 2, that was all like Romita. John Byrne kind of made a comeback. But Romita Jr. was on like every title. Scott Hanna did a lot of inking. Alright, sorry, I'm rambling too much. Starbrand. I don't know much about this. This is another title I don't really buy that often. I think I got one of the Ghost Rider ones. That whole Ghost Rider war, race, whatever they were doing. I think I got the one where like Ghost Rider's on the throne. That little like lazy. I think it had a Carnage symbiote title thing, blood title or whatever. Anyway, so isn't it supposed to be like the first Avenger group was like that 1 million BC Avengers? It was like Cave Woman, Iron Fist, and Ghost Rider on a woolly mammoth, and like this guy, like the first hero. I thought he was supposed to be like a Hulk knockoff, but maybe he is not. Definitely some Dale Keown art there. Oh yeah, I like Keown. Mr. Pitt. I don't know. Looked good though, so I was gonna check it out. Last time I was really actually read Avengers was around what, issue 14, 15. They did that vampire story with Blade, like the Shadow Colonel or something, and his Legion of the Unliving, I think. I like Blade, so I was getting those Blade books, but then I quickly dropped off of that. That's Jason Aaron as well. I have like at least 5 of these different titles are all Jason Aaron. I didn't even realize that. Good for him. I'm glad because Cates is like pushing him off Thor. I'm sure he's just tired of it, but I kind of felt about like, oh, man, what's Jason Aaron gonna do? He's obviously getting around pretty well, because here's another one. He's doing Conan. This was a cool one. Conan died last issue, if you didn't know. This is 11. So he's kind of... The thing is with these ones, though, like all those sorcery characters, like Thor, Conan, when they die, maybe Hulk, they don't really... They just kind of go to, like, hell or Valhalla and basically have to fight their way back to life. Like, oh, go through this gauntlet of blah, 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 and make a deal with the devil and they'll come back, blah, blah, blah. Blah, 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 blah. So I think that's kind of what's happening here is Conan was, like, beaten to a near-death coma. And in the last issue, you get this guy, this new big omnipotent one below all type villain. You like see his hand coming up to grab him or something, and he talks. That was definitely a cameo in the last issue. So if anything, you get his first appearance in this. But I was like skimming through, and I think it's Crom, which I know is like Conan God, but I don't know. I'm assuming Crom's appeared before in all these 40, 50 years now of Conan, almost 40 or 50 years of Conan. I'm sure, since the comics anyway. Sorry, I'm sure he was in the books too, but in the comics of Conan, I'm sure Crom is personified at one point or had some appearance. But if not, boom, that's gonna be a big book. But I'm sure he's shown up, and if that is him, I think it was like he was saying like Crom, like that's who you are, like what? Yeah, but if it's otherwise, if it's just another big crazy monolith villain, cool. It's first appearance, I think. So either way, just a dope book. I don't know if it's much of a key. I got 2 of the last issue. I want to get 2 of this one. Might sell a set. Might hold on to all of them. I don't know. I like having doubles of cool covers, and they've both been really cool covers. I think the last issue you got like an origin of the Witch Queen. What's her name? Something. Again, I don't really read Conan. Whatever the hell she was. You get her little minions have a little backstory in there, I think. So, I don't remember. But Spider-Verse, too. Spider-Man. I believe that's Aunt May as Spider-Man. They keep making them, I'll keep buying them. Gotta get all those Spider-Man character firsts and whatnots. And yeah, and I think that Edge of Spider-Verse series had like an Uncle Ben Spider-Man character, so why not? Immortal Hulk. Oh, so I did get one 2099 cover, and I kind of regret it. I would have rather gotten 2 copies of cover A. But at least it's the actual like Hulk 2099 that they had in the comic, so in the 90s. So a lot of them are just ridiculous. Because not very many characters had a 2099 series. So when they're throwing like a Star-Lord in there, or a Captain Marvel, or a Black Cat one, or whatever, it's just like absurd, some of the covers they've been coming up with. So I've not been buying those, but as you can see, I got a couple of that number one, and at least like one stupid variant. A couple left. Got that Deadpool. It's like King Deadpool, like King of the Monsters or something. I only got it because it's a blank cover. I get all the blanks I can find, as long as it's not Star Wars or Doctor Who or something. I'm a fan. But any like Marvel or DC, I don't get those Dynamite ones. Like Vampirella has blanks, I don't really get those. I have one, but even with that stupid Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy, I ended up with 2 of those somehow. But I get all the blanks I can because I do my own stuff. I do like cover swipes of just classic covers and yada yada yada. So playing on. I've only done a couple so far. I have like over a long box full. I need to dive in and do some of those or sell them or something. But that's kind of like a retirement project. I could probably. I can't live off that kind of stuff, but just make it another little hobby like in my spare time. Do some art, do some covers. Sell them if I get good at it. Alright, wrapping this up. I got this awful fucking cover. I hate it. It's one of my least favorites. It's revered as one of the best and most important comics of all time. Most classic covers. And I hate it. Classic. I think it's just fucking Green Arrows. Ah, my word is a junkie! I'm not Speedy. Who cares about Speedy? Ugh. Horrible. I don't care. It doesn't bother me that it's about drugs. The subject matter. It bothers me that it's an ugly cover. So, $3.99, whatever. It's a good book to have. I don't think I've ever read the whole story. I know the gist of it, but yeah. And then finally, I think I have time, just barely, to show you these last ones. I got a Something Killing the Children. I think it's a 5th print, 4th, 5th, or 6th print. Number 1, just why not? It's an extra copy of it. And then the only other one from today, I got 20 seconds. Book of the week, I think so. Heartbeat. Number 1, the 1 per store retailer variant. Paid a little bit extra for this guy, so definitely my favorite pick of the week, just for how much I spent. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you could get a copy, or at least the A cover.